This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined by my man, Jack Hughes. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, how's things?
Very good, mate. Can't complain. Everything's going good. Life is good. So, yeah, no complaints.
You're heading towards a massive fight for yourself. But just kind of talking about the period in between. I last saw you after your fight on Prince Patel and Tony Banji's show. What have the weeks been like in between? Obviously, a little bit of time off and then the fight announcement. So, I guess kind of an exciting time since your last fight.
Oh, yeah, very exciting, man. Like, literally only had probably about a week or two to myself, and then it was pretty much straight back in the gym. So, it's been like 3 camps pretty much back to back. And yeah, this is the biggest fight of them all, the biggest fight of my career. Commonwealth silver, brand new belt. I'll be the first ever champion. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is an exciting time, like you said. In terms of the 2 fights you had quickly back to back, I know you were happier with the one that you had at the Peacock than the fight you had second. But talk to me about them both and kind of how they prepared you for what's to come.
Yeah, I think, the first one was Jake Pollard. He was just very come forward, and it was my first outing with my new coach and team, like down at Jab Gym in Bushy with Azza as my coach. And yeah, like obviously things went great. He's not really anything like Lewis's kind of style, so but the performance, I was happy with the performance. But then the next fight was Sean Jackson. He's not really much like Lewis, but he is a switch hitter, so that was good preparation for Lewis because he's a switch hitter. And yeah, we know the story. The performance wasn't great, but again, got the W. That's what champions do. They get the wins when they don't exactly perform great. So, but yeah, it's two good fights, and I think the second one was probably better preparation. He's more of Lewis's style but yeah, we'll see what happens.
But the main thing is you got back in the ring, and I guess you felt at home back in the ring. You teetered with a comeback the first time I spoke to you. So having the comeback, the 2 fights quickly, being in the ring, just kind of feeling at home again and knowing that it was the right decision.
Oh yeah, I think it was definitely the right decision. I started to miss boxing a little bit, and now coming back, I'm enjoying it so much. Like, it's funny because when I first started boxing, I used to love the training, but I used to actually hate fighting. And then I
think you genuinely, I must have done nearly 2,000 of these, and I've never heard anyone say. I hear people say the other way, like, "Oh mate, training's fucking hard. I don't like it. Love the fighting. You like the training. I didn't like the night."
Yeah, it's funny, because I actually read an interview once with Callum Smith, and he said the same thing. Yeah, he said he used to hate fighting, but he used to love like the training side of it. So yeah, I used to hate that. Then when I come back, it was funny because it was the other way around. I used to love the fighting, but then I used to hate the training, like the sparring and stuff. But now it's like this time, it's just good. I just love everything. Like when I'm sparring, I'm in the corner with Aaron and I'm laughing and I'm joking and I'm coming out with a smile on my face. And yeah, so it's just good to be back. I think I found my home now down at Jab Gym, and everything's comfortable. The training, the fighting, the sparring, everything.
Yeah. I guess without trying to get too life coachy, I guess that is the most important thing. If you're enjoying something, then that's the most important thing. And I guess it perhaps makes you better. When you're not enjoying something, you're never kind of going to be working at 100%. So
yeah, exactly. Even if you look at my performance take the last one out, if you look at the Paul Roberts fight and then you look at the Jake Pollard fight, I was just so much more relaxed and comfortable, and everything was just flowing nicely in the Jake Pollard fight. And then in the Paul Roberts fight, I was very tense, like coming forward, and like I didn't look as comfortable because I wasn't as relaxed, and I just wasn't enjoying my boxing as much as I am now, as I said. So yeah, just happy to be back.
Yeah. So after the last fight, like I said, we spoke then. What was the negotiation period like in between? Because I know there were a couple of names that people have bandied about. I know there was a couple of fighters that Prince was kind of keen on getting you in with. How did it get to the point of where we are now? What was offered to you? What did you want? What was there? What wasn't? Kind of talk to me about the negotiation period really to get to where we are now.
Yeah, it was quite straightforward really. I was actually offered this fight a couple months ago, and I accepted it. But there was like a slight miscommunication with management, and then yeah, the fight didn't end up going ahead because of the miscommunication. So then we got the 2 fights out of the way, and obviously I'm guessing Lewis couldn't find an opponent. So then they offered the fight to me again, and this time with no miscommunication, it was just all done. It was basically just done and dusted within seconds. Like they offered me a good purse and the fight in their hometown. Didn't have to sell no tickets, so it was kind of pretty much a no brainer. It was all done and signed within a week or two, pretty much. So yeah, pretty straightforward negotiations.
And an away day, like you said, ready to take kind of a little mob up there and I suppose try and make them heard. But yeah, an away day for you and the team.
Yeah, it's exciting. The first away day in my pro career. So yeah, 14 fights in. I've always only ever fought at home. So until I come to TM14, I'd only ever fought at York Hall. So my first 3 fights with TM14 are 3 different venues. So it's just nice to start getting out, about, seeing new places, seeing new arenas, and taking the away days. Because before, someone once said to me before, when I was doing it all at York Hall, they said, this isn't actually really professional boxing. It's not what it's like. Real professional boxing, you go around, you travel, you take the away fights, you take the hard fights. You don't just stick to one venue your whole career and fight there. It's not. It's actually not. Once you start getting around, seeing new things, like meeting new promoters, you start to see what real professional boxing is actually like. So again, it's another reason probably why I'm enjoying it a lot more. And yeah, so first away day, I'm guessing I'm going to come out with my ring walk. I'm going to get booed like madness. But yeah, it's a new experience, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you just got to soak the booze in, I guess. What's the feeling like between you two? Do you know each other? Have you had any words, anything? Ever met? Ever even sparred? I don't know. Know much about each other?
Yeah, funny enough, I sparred Lewis years ago, but when he was a kid, like I was probably, I think I was around, must have been 24, and he was like 14. So he was like a proper young boy, and I was just starting my my pro career. And yeah, like he was a good kid back then, like But obviously I was a man, he was a boy, so But to be honest, he's still kind of a boy, and I'm still a man. He's only 21. But yeah, so like I know him slightly. I know he trades down with Paddy Fitzpatrick. I haven't seen too much of him. Like I know that his promotional team took like all his videos down, so they're kind of basically trying to hide him. But unfortunately, he can't hide forever. The 25th is coming. It's fast approaching. And me being me, the genius I am, I found a clip of him somewhere deep in the deep dark web somewhere. I found a little video of him, so they didn't hide him too well. But so yeah, I know him very, very slightly.
Yeah. Right, there's always something in the archive somewhere that you'll be able to find. So what sort of fight are you expecting then?
Mate,
it's based off the one clip you managed to salvage.
To be honest, from his style, he doesn't really do a lot. Like he's not a very busy fighter, and obviously everyone knows me. I'm a very, very busy fighter. I come forward, I like to fight. Where he's more just kind of in the middle, very like bobs side to side, throws out the odd jab here. It's like he almost doesn't really like to work a lot. So basically, man, I'm just going to stick it on him from the start and see what he's like in the later rounds. See if he can keep up with the pace, because from what I've seen, it doesn't really look like he can. And again, as I said earlier, he's still a young kid, and I'm a man. I'm kind of a veteran of the sport now. I've had 14 fight. Well, this will be my 14th fight. It's going to be my 4th 10-rounder. It's going to be my 5th title fight. I've been there. I've done it, and I've had the hard 10-round fights. I've had the grueling fights where I've had blood going in my eye. I've had cuts. I've had to come through this all, and I've had to win these fights and dig deep. When he hasn't had any of that in his career. He's never been pushed. I know he has gone 10 rounds, and he had a very, very close fight with Ben Lilly, and like no disrespect to Ben, but I don't really rate him that highly. And I think this is going to be his first real big test coming up against me. And I think his promotional team have made a mistake, because I think they're trying to give him a really easy route. As I said, he's not really been in there with anyone yet. Ben Lilly was his biggest test, and he had a very, very close fight with him. And they probably looked at me and thought, Jack's a flyweight, so we can make him come up a couple weights, and it's an easy night for Lewis. But it's definitely not going to be an easy night. They've made the wrong choice here, I think.
Yeah. How are you finding it in terms of not having to, I guess, strip yourself down in terms of eating. I know you won't just be sitting there eating pizza and drinking milkshake, but I guess perhaps an easier camp physically then.
It's not really.
Well, I know you've learned how to cook, is what I saw. So
I have learned how to cook, mate. 31 years in the making, I've finally learned how to cook.
so you just have beans on toast all camp, is that it?
I'm taking a lot of stress on my missus, that's for sure, when she's back. But
Obviously, I know it kind of won't work like that. It isn't just kind of letting yourself eat to whatever, but there is less limitations on you kind of having to completely constrict yourself.
yeah, this is it's very funny because this is the first time in my career where I've kind of actually done everything right. Not that I've ever been lazy or nothing like that. It's before where I didn't have the funds. I didn't really know much about the nutritionist side of boxing. So the first time in my career, I've actually got a nutritionist on board, and it's just changed my life completely. Like, I'm eating like 5-6 meals a day, where before I was eating like 2. So you can only imagine the difference in energy and stuff I've got.
And mood.
Yeah, and my mood, yeah, completely different. And Liam, my nutritionist, Liam Williams, is like amazing. With the weight, it's not really too much different because it's only literally a kilo. I think it's like 1.4 kilo difference. So, I still have to be relatively strict and I still have to cut down a lot. So, but yeah, I'm just enjoying it so much different because, as you just touched on, the nutritionist, my mood and everything, it's made me a different person. I'm much more happier. I'm doing rounds I've got so much more energy to give. Like, it's just it's been a very, very good camp at the moment.
Yeah. And it would be a brilliant ending if on the night you can lift that Commonwealth silver title. Just to finish off, talk to me about how much that would mean to you.
It means everything, mate, because I've always said this. My whole career has been surrounded by the Commonwealth title. The first day I ever walked into a professional boxing gym, they had John O'Donnell's Commonwealth belt spread across the gym. So that was the first professional boxing belt I ever see. And then, like, the first time I ever went for an away spar was with my friend, now friend Ash Lane, who was Commonwealth champion at the time. My debut was on the undercard of a Commonwealth title fight. Then when I moved gyms again, one of my teammates, Tyson Gallagher, won the Commonwealth title. So my whole career has been focused on the Commonwealth title.
What you're telling me is this is fate.
This is literally fate. This is what it is. And years ago, when I was probably about 2 fights into my career, I wrote a whole list of everything I wanted to do in boxing. And I've basically achieved everything. And I think there's 3 things that are on the list to do. And that's win an English title, box at the O2 Arena, and obviously fight for the Commonwealth. So this is just another one ticked off the list now.